All right, guys, we're going to do a very, very simple one light portrait, but we're going to do it something different. If you are brand new to studio lighting and you're like, you know what, all the wireless triggering, all that kind of stuff throws me, I've got the thing to use. And although I'm saying it in that context, like if you're new to lighting, there are a lot of top pros that use these, a lot of top pros, just because they're so easy. Because we spend a lot of our time trying to get the light in just the right position. We're moving it an inch here, take a test shot, move it an inch there, take a test shot. But we're going to look at is what's called a TD5 spider light from Westcott. Now, there are other people that make them. I use the Westcott brand. You can get whatever fluorescent light you like. But there's some advantages to it. The big advantage is the light stays on all the time. There is no wireless trigger. You don't have to buy pocket wizards or anything else. It just stays on. It's like, and it's daylight balanced. So kind of picture it as like a window light you can move around and put wherever you want. Number two is it's very, very soft light. Let's come and take a look at one, and I want to show you what it is first. And I'm not trying to do a product demo, but you need to understand how they work and as to why this is such a cool thing. So they have these big fluorescent bulbs in here, and the name for these is big fluorescent bulbs. There's a whole bunch of them. Now, they only basically turn on or off. There's no like moving it up a tenth of a stop or moving it down a tenth of a stop. They're on or they're off. Now, there's 3 switches on the back, and one turns like 1 on, one turns like 2 or 3 on, and there's a modeling light in the middle. By the way, I have to tell you something about the modeling light. Why in the world is there a modeling light? When it comes on, I guess technically you could say it makes it a little brighter, but I've never ever noticed a difference with it on or off because you just leave these on. So when you get on the set, you're ready to start shooting, you turn them on and you leave them on the whole time. All of them on. I've never had a situation where I thought I need it to be darker, because they don't put out a fabulous amount of light, which is, if you had to say anything about them, you'd say, well, I wish they were more powerful, because then you could shoot your kids running around on the floor and it would freeze them like a flash does. It doesn't freeze motion, so this is perfect for when you're doing a portrait where your subject's going to be still. If your subject is dancing, don't use a spider light because it won't, well, it'll be kind of cool, you'll get a little bit of motion, but that's not what it's designed for. It's designed when your subject's not moving. All right, so that's the inside. Then all it has is this little diffusion thing. And by the way, if you ever buy one of these, I want to give you a little tip. There's a little thing inside. There's 4 little clips where you put another diffusion in here. That's because when Westcott sells their soft boxes, they assume that you're going to maybe use them with a strobe. So it comes with a little diffusion panel in the inside. You do not want that diffusion panel in if you're buying these bulbs, which is what I recommend. So step 1 is take that diffusion panel out. You just want bulb and then the outside little bit of diffusion fabric. It's Velcroed, so you just put it right in here like this. It only takes 45 minutes to an hour. No, it just takes a few moments there. All right, so that's the whole light. It's a very, very simple light. Like I said, there's nothing to it. All you can do is turn it on. So I'm just going to turn this over. Now, our subject here is Shay. She's going to be helping us on the shoot, Shay. And we're just going to just turn this around and face her. All right, now, here's the nice thing. When I turn on the lights, 1, 2, 3. When I turn on the lights, exactly what you see is exactly what you're going to get. So I can move the light, I can turn it, and watch how the shadows change on her face. All I'm going to do is just move it left to right. So I can have shadows way on that side of her face, a little bit of shadow, have it fall the way around. I can blast her with light. But you see, as I'm just swiveling the light, you see exactly what's going to happen from no light to a little bit of light to a lot of light to way over here, or I can feather the light where I'm just going just past her like this, where you're just getting a little light. Now, the softest light would actually be where the light is not aiming at your subject, but it's just getting a little bit of light way back in that direction. So, but in this case, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to aim a little towards her, and what I'm looking for is this side of her face to be lit nicely. I want a little bit of light on that cheek, so let's just kind of move it back a little bit, maybe over there. Looks kind of nice right there. All right, now, a couple of keys to making this work. Because this doesn't put out a tremendous amount of light, I recommend that you shoot on a tripod. So I've got my camera rig back here on a tripod. You want to be extra still. I'm shooting at 200 ISO, but the shutter speed's going to be a little slower. Also, with these lights, I don't shoot in manual like I do like I would with strobes. I switch to aperture priority, and I usually shoot pretty much wide open. So in this case, this lens will actually go to f2.8. I'm going to shoot at f4, so I still have a little more light I can bring in here. And when I shoot this, it's going to be around a 60th of a second. So it's going to be f4 at a 60th of a second in aperture priority mode. So basically what I'm telling the camera is I want the background kind of out of focus. I'm also going to shoot, I'm shooting quite a long lens here. This is a 70 to 200. I like to shoot from about 150 on up. So I'm going to back up just a little bit, and then I'm going to zoom in. So also what's nice is because of these lights don't have this big blast of flash out, she's on a glass tabletop, so I'll get a little reflection from the tabletop, but I'm not going to get the light blasting into it. Let me go ahead and take a test shot, and let me go and just kind of zoom in here a little bit. All right, there we go, and let me just lock the focus on. Very nice. Ooh, the light looks really good. The thing about the light is, this light is really, really, really soft wrapping light, so it kind of wraps right around your subject. Now, what I want to do is I'm going to turn the lights off. I'm going to have her hold the same pose and take a test shot. Then I'm going to turn them on and take another test shot, because there is a lot of ambient light in this room. There's light coming in from the windows and stuff. And you think, well, why do you really need a light? Why wouldn't I just use the ambient light? Let me show you the difference. It's quite big. So let me go ahead and take the shot with the light on. So I'm going to have you hold the same pose, okay, Shay? Just a moment. There's one. Don't move. 3 switches. 1, 2, 3. Now, because we're in aperture priority mode, it's going to try to expose for the lighting in the room. And it's not a bad shot. You see a little bit of hair light there and stuff, but look at the difference. It's absolutely night and day. One looks like it's lit. One looks like you just took it in a room. Look how flat the light is on her face. It's completely flat. Here, it's dark and dramatic, and all we didn't change a single thing in the camera. We didn't change one single thing. All we did was turn on the lights. But then it creates that directional light that you want. The last thing is when you have just a bunch of flat light scattering everywhere, you want some shadows and you want to be able to control those. And that's what this is all about. That's what's really nice about this, is I can kind of position this thing anywhere I want for a different look. I can go on the other side, I can move it, I can raise it. And watch what happens as we raise and lower the light too. You're going to see how the light affects it as you're doing it, as we turn it, as we go different ways with it. And what I would probably do to get the softest and the best quality light is, I would actually move this chair, and I would actually take the light and get it closer to the subject, almost to where it's touching her. And I'm doing this from behind, so I hope I don't actually hit her with it. It's going to get brighter as it gets closer to her. So let me see. All right, now I've got it closer to you, but it's a little too shadowy. But see, I didn't have to go back to the camera and do a test shot. I don't have to go, wait, let me go do a test shot. Let me see where the lighting is. So here we go. And it's a little too high because she is sitting. All right, now, let me try this shot here. All right, and let me just move it over a little bit this way. I'm going to put her way over to the right side of the photo. And okay, now I got the light in there and she's actually clipping. It's actually a little too bright. So here's what I can do. I can either change the f-stop. I'm at f4. I could go to maybe f5.6. Let's see what that does. Still clipping a little. In that case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to exposure compensation. I'm going to hold the exposure compensation down, and I'm going to drop it to 1/3 of a stop. And let's see. 1/7 of a stop it is. And that's it. There's a tiny little, tiny bit on her face. I can just fix that real quick with inside of Lightroom. I can just move it over and take care of that. So that's a no-brainer. But as we got closer, the quality of the light got better. So better light, softer light, more wrapping, but unfortunately it's closer to her, so it's brighter light. So I guess that's a good thing in some ways, right? It's brighter, so now I can, I don't have to be as tight here. But the fact of the matter is better quality to get it closer in. So that's just a quick look at a very, very simple portrait using these. If you're brand new to lighting, try them, but just don't get it in your mind that this is a beginner light, because it's not. A lot of the top pros using these for wedding portraiture, in-studio portraiture, stuff like that. Works fantastic.